Hello, my name's Julie Lewin. I'm a medical intuitive and I have been doing this work for 33 years. And over that time, I've come to understand how we can heal our body through our holographic bodies. So let me explain what I mean about the holographic body. So in the old days, before we went digital, we used to put a film in a camera. We would take our 12, 24, 36 photos. We would take the film out, take it to the developer. They would create a set of negatives. They would put that through the processor and we would have our photograph. So let's call the photograph our physical body. Let's call our holographic body the negative. You do not get a photo without the negative. So my premise is, over all this time, is we don't have our physical body without our holographic body. You can call it your energy body, you can call it your metaphysical body. It's just another body that we can't see with our physical eyes. Now, in the physical realm, we are governed by universal laws. So I can't stick my finger through my hand. But in the holographic world, you've seen holographs. You can walk through them. So there's no rules in that world. So in my wisdom, I decided I needed to figure out how to join those worlds, how to bridge those worlds or dimensions. And I figured that out through doing a particular form of breath. And you do 3 breaths and you bring the oxygen or the air to the top of your lungs. And then I figured out that if I do creative or spontaneous visualization in that other dimension, and I just want to add in here, last year in 2017, scientists discovered we have 11 dimensions in the brain. So we can go into different dimensions within the human body, not out there. And I want to talk about that in a moment. So I discovered that if I do particular visualizations, which I call a protocol or a template, in this realm, I can have an impact in this realm because we've bridged it. And so people might call that a miracle, but it's actually working with the dimensions that everyone has access to if you know how. So if you do specific visualization in this realm, I can change scars. I can soften a scar that pulls so that it integrates with the rest of the body. And we can do that in 2 minutes. I can heal a burn, a 3rd-degree burn. Would you believe I had a 3rd-degree burn on my hand from boiling oil that I was very proud of myself. I cooked my first donut and I was inspecting it. The oil ran down the tongs and it burnt my hand. Someone had told me that they healed 3rd-degree burns on their hands and face. Didn't tell me how they did it. So I operated on the premise, if that person can do it, I can do it. I just have to figure out how. So I went like this. I closed my eyes. You know, when you're in really bad pain, you do take deep breaths in because you're in shock. And I unconsciously linked to my holographic body and I healed it. And I'm going to share with you because I want the entire world to know how to do this. I imagine that I was looking at that burn, which was about that big, in a transverse section. So what that means is I imagine that I cut the burn in half and I was looking at it from that perspective. And I saw healthy skin on either side. And then I saw this crater. And then there was healthy skin down here, but this was all damaged. I thought, well, what can I do? I saw a roll of Glad wrap. So I thought, okay, I need to use that. I peeled a sheet of Glad wrap off and I lay it underneath the burn. Then I saw a bucket of white cream with a spatula. So I put the white cream on that layer of Glad wrap and I call that new Glad wrap or Glad wrap new skin. Put another layer of Glad wrap, more white cream. and I filled the crater up with the 2 layers, like making lasagna. And then I thought, well, what do I do now? I saw this emerald green light come all the way down through the entire transverse section. And then bright white light came all the way down through. And when the white light reached the bottom, there was an alchemical flash, and I felt like I was fully integrated back into my bones, my organs, my muscles. And then I touched my hand. You know, when you have a 3rd degree burn, there's a really bad burn, it's really dark. And then there's this almost sympathetic pinkness where the trauma and the shock spreads out. All of that pink trauma had disappeared. And I just had the 3rd degree burn, and I could touch it. After 10 minutes, I could go like that. All the pain disappeared. I did not take Panadol. And that was fine, so I just went about the rest of the evening. When I woke up in the morning, it was a burgundy, a deep burgundy colour right where the 3rd degree was. And I thought, oh, that's odd. And I could actually rub it. So it was completely healed. And 2 days later, the burgundy disappeared. And 2 weeks later, my skin peeled, like I'd had sunburn. So my theory on this technique is that my body healed from the inside out, not the outside in. And I have no scar. I've gone on and I have helped people who've actually had burning oil with flames coming off land on their body from a similar experience. It was all healed in a couple of days. My greatest wish is that everyone on this planet does this if they burn themselves, because it is truly magic. It is all done with the power of the mind. And so that was when I really got the gist that if we do the healing in the holographic body, we can do healing in the physical body. And it's just connecting those two. Now, I didn't go out there. I did all of that within here, in one of those dimensions that I've just discovered that we have in the brain.